Mexico. We're cooling down into the 50s and 60s for most of us, 70s over the southeastern part of the state. That low pressure system responsible for all the rain and thunderstorms out there today will move over New Mexico tomorrow. So we still have a little bit of moisture in place, so we're going to be looking at more scattered to isolated showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. It's not going to be nearly as widespread or heavy as what we've been seeing out there today. By Wednesday, drier air begins to move in from the west. We'll still likely see a few spotty storms along and east of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. Then by Thursday, we may see some rain chances down into the Sacramentos. But the good news is it looks like a wet end of May and early start to June. There is high confidence that we're going to continue to see this active pattern across eastern New Mexico, which tells me that probably a severe weather setup as we head into the end of this month and early May, and still even leaning above average for this bullseye right here in New Mexico as we head into early June. So this looks like a really good pattern. Not quite the monsoon just yet, more of a late spring, early summer kind of pattern with the potential for severe weather. So we will be keeping an eye on that, but it does look like we're still getting on a rain chances in the forecast, although tomorrow we'll be looking at some spotty, isolated showers and thunderstorms from southern Colorado into New Mexico. It does look like it'll be much drier and warmer, though, as we head into the end of this week, with temperatures climbing into the weekend as high pressure settles over the state. We will have some moisture in place. We're remaining on some isolated rain and thunderstorm chances this weekend, especially on eastern New Mexico. But that threat for severe weather will likely move in starting Friday. And it may move out for the weekend with just a couple garden variety showers and storms. But early next week, that severe weather threat may return once again. Temperatures will climb back above average again for this time of year by the end of the week, staying very warm into this weekend. Here in the metro, likely it is run into a couple isolated thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon before drier and warmer weather moves in for the rest of the week.
Awesome. See, I was paying attention, so bring in Will tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully we'll need it again.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Mayor. Appreciate it. It's going to come on Fox 505 at 9. The war in Iran still has no end in sight. President Trump insists a deal is in the works. Details after the break.
Stay up to date with local weather conditions on krqe.com.
What up at your favorite New Mexico lottery retailer?
A kitchen isn't just where meals are made. It's where memories begin. From quiet morning conversations shared over freshly brewed coffee, to afternoons filled with laughter and generations coming together, and quiet evenings of care and connection. At Pool and Design Center, we design kitchens that are lived in, loved in, and built to last a lifetime. Pool and Design Center, where your story begins. Visit poolanddesignCenter.com for a free estimate.
A choice for Governor Deb Haaland.
I think if we're, that they rely on, with respect to, I feel like I need to explain further. I don't know.
Sam Brown, detailed plans to fix healthcare and lower costs when they took on ICE.
You're going to prosecute them if they're committed felonies? Absolutely will prosecute them.
And he'll stand up to Trump. Paid for by Brandon Brennan. This is my dad's car. You know what, for a drive, I always have to be local in the backseat. My dad says I have to be safe. And sometimes he doesn't wear his seatbelt. He thinks it's okay. But underneath I have another car. And Dad, he got really hurt. You don't go out for a drive anymore.
I'm on this 6 not just on. 30 seconds. Let me tell you why I'm running to be your next election. My family has ranched our lands for generations. I help manage our sections. I work for the Army Corps of Engineers and alongside Senator Heinrich to protect our land and water. I'll make sure oil and gas pay their fair share to fund our public schools, expand renewable energy, and stop Donald Trump from selling off the public lands. That's this message from the Big Time.
Calling out Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, and One Piece fans. Your adventure starts at Duke City Games, New Mexico's largest collection of trading cards and games, while also hosting New Mexico's biggest tournaments. We also buy, sell, and trade cards, from classic collections to the highest new tools, plus earn loyalty stars. Every dollar you spend, with 500 stars, and score a 50% off coupon. Good at any of our stores. With 5 stores, including Santa Fe, 1 in Rio Rancho, and 2 right here in Albuquerque. There's always a Duke City Games near you. Visit DukeCity.games or stop by your nearest store today.
Hey, it's Duke Rodriguez again. If you're a registered independent, I don't blame you. It feels like both parties are a dumpster fire. If you're you're tired of politicians on both sides, I'm your candidate. Day one, I'll get to work fixing healthcare, fixing the laws that lead to crime and reforming taxes, so we keep more in our paychecks. As an independent, you can now vote in primaries, and I want to earn your vote. I'm Duke Rodriguez. I'm running for governor, and I approve this message.
There's still no deal between the U.S. and Iran. Despite earlier threats of military action, the Trump administration is now saying there is no deadline. Fox's Ashley Webster has the latest.
Despite some optimistic statements from the Trump administration over the past several days, Tehran is painting a murkier picture. Iran's foreign ministry says the only focus for now is ending the conflict.
It is true that we have reached a conclusion regarding a large part of the topics under discussion, but to say that this means the signing of an agreement is imminent, no one can make such a claim.
President Trump adding another layer to the discussions by demanding that Middle Eastern nations join the Abraham Accords, linking the initiative from his first term, which aims to broker normalization with Israel to a potential peace deal with Iran. The president specifically naming Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, and Jordan. Writing on Truth Social, quote, after all the work done by the United States to try and pull this very complex puzzle together, it should be mandatory that all of these countries, at a minimum, simultaneously sign on to the Abraham Accords. The president is even floating the idea of Iran joining those accords once a peace deal is reached. And those talks are widening around the region. Today, Iran's parliamentary speaker and foreign minister arrived in Doha, Qatar, for talks on ending the conflict. At the same time, a reminder of Iran's iron fist dictatorship. State media reporting that a man was executed today on charges related to widespread anti-government protests in January. Meantime, the daily clashes between Israeli forces and Hezbollah terrorists in southern Lebanon carry on. Tonight, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu announcing that IDF forces will dramatically escalate their operations in Lebanon, saying Hezbollah is refusing to stop its attacks.
Also, what this requires from us now is to intensify the blows, to increase the force. We will strike them hard, decisively.
Also tonight, it's being reported that Iran's president has given the go-ahead to restore internet access across the country. But interestingly, the Revolutionary Guard is questioning whether he has the authority to make that decision. In Tel Aviv, Ashley Webster, Fox News.
It was another busy Memorial Day at FMU, but not as busy as years past. After the break, I'll report on the lower than usual visitor turnout and a look at water levels.
Some much-needed rain has been moving through parts of New Mexico today. I'll show you how much we've seen and who still can hang on to a chance for showers and thunderstorms into Tuesday.
Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino, your home for world entertainment.
Hey, Seraphine County, have you made your plans to vote? We've made it easy. From kids voting to positive polls, we've made voting fun, easy, and family fair. Vote early and open a place in line for someone who can only vote on election day. Want to vote at home? Try pajama voting. Request your absentee ballot early and use one of our secure drive-up drop boxes, never having to get out of your pajamas. Early voting starts May 5th at the clerk's office, expanding May 16th. Last day to vote, June 2nd. Seraphine County. Easy as a prayer.
Get in your
first layer is state-of-the-art foam, which is for strength and hydration. Next, silicone is applied to create a seamless, strong, and flexible skin.
Help them
Restoration is
with likes. What?
we pride ourselves in providing the highest quality product and the best customer service.
Just nonsense. Hello. Colors, that's my hand. That's my hand.
I stood up to Trump and election deniers to keep our election safe and secure, and I got Fox keep ice
Good.
out on polling locations so every eligible voice could be heard. I'm Angela Kazatskin, and I approve this message because I am ready to keep New Mexico elections safe, fair, and secure.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Download Kirky now. Great shows, local flavor, anytime you want.
The local authority you can trust. No safety.
Good evening. Low water levels once again greeted visitors at Elephant Butte over Memorial Day weekend. And while the lake saw less than average turnout this year, it remains a popular summer destination for many.
Get it yet? Get it yet?
Park officials say the turnout was lower than last Memorial Day weekend, but there are still tens of thousands of people out here having a great time. I spoke with a few boaters about their weekend experiences.
Quite a hotspot for all the boats and jet skis and stuff. Everybody comes here from Texas, southern New Mexico, northern New Mexico, so it's just a really cool environment. Get to meet new people, get to go catch some good fish.
Noah Fellows and his family come to Elephant Butte Lake every year for Memorial Day weekend, but it's not a far trek for them, since they live in Truer consequences. His brother Oscar says the town changes drastically once the summer months hit.
Winter time, there's really not a lot of stuff going on at all, but when the summer hits, town's full of people from out of town, the lake is full of people, and it's just two different places.
Park officials say about 35,000 people came out this year for Memorial Day weekend, compared to about 60,000 last year.
It's actually been fairly calm this year compared to last Memorial Day. It was,
I don't want some.
tons of boats flying everywhere.
This year, the water levels
Huh?
in the lake near Truer consequences
Cereal?
sits at 11% of capacity.
Yeah, we just bought some.
They had last year at this time. Park officials say that number
Not
is
yet.
likely to drop even lower.
We do expect the water to go down. With our irrigation reservoir, right now the dam is open. As of this morning, it was about 750 cubic feet per second leaving.
It's a cookie.
Coming in. So we do expect it to drop.
Park officials say they've been managing the hazards on the water to keep everyone safe, moving buoys and marking hazards. They say they had no serious incidents this weekend. Although the water levels have dropped, the park still draws crowds from all around the area, which in turn helps the local and state economy. In Elephant Butte, Natasha Lynn, KRQE News 13.
Park officials say their busy season runs through Labor Day, but they are open year-round.
There is one direct impact to Jessica from just how bad the snow is. Yeah. You know?
Did this rain help at all?
No, unfortunately.
I thought you were going to be like, actually,
I could tell you were setting me up for some good news, and yeah, I shot it down. What we need is, weeks of this kind of rain to really help with that, the flow, the river flow, and to bring in some more water into those lakes. But maybe this active monsoon season this summer could help. Probably so. There's silver lining there. There's some hope trying to stay home. Yeah, exactly. We have picked up some nice rain today, though, across parts of New Mexico. Ahead of that, though, saw some areas of blowing dust. This is a picture sent to me this afternoon from Cabazon up in Rio Rancho, looking off to the southwest. This, you can see this haboob moving in.
Haboob.
That this was in Rio Rancho. You might assume that this was out in Arizona.
Haboob.
This is a very common scene during the monsoon. Here in New Mexico, it definitely happens, and we saw it today. And this is the proper meteorological term for this, because it was caused by outflow ahead of showers and thunderstorms, picking up that dust and carrying it ahead of those showers and thunderstorms. So that differs from a dust storm, which is just created by generally high winds. This specifically, a haboob, is created by outflow from showers of thunderstorms, and that's exactly what deposited all this dust around Albuquerque earlier today before the rain finally moved in. We're still watching pretty active radar tonight here across New Mexico, especially just east of the Pecos River out into eastern New Mexico. That's where most of the thunderstorms are tonight, including this flood advisory that's still in effect between Roswell and Portales. That's where we've seen some very heavy rainfall and severe thunderstorms earlier today. But even then, still some pretty steady, moderate to locally heavy rainfall stretching from east of Carlsbad all the way up to Fort Sumner, just outside Clovis and Roswell. There's also a few showers and thunderstorms around Las Cruces, Deming, Silver City, moving in towards Teeter City, off to the west of Socorro tonight. And that rain extends northward towards Tucumcari and Raton. Much drier in northern New Mexico, but there's these isolated showers and thunderstorms off to the west and southwest of Albuquerque. They will bring us another round of rain around 11 o'clock or midnight tonight. We did pick up some nice rainfall amounts across New Mexico. A few hundredths to over a tenth of an inch of rain for many areas. Pockets of heavier rainfall, of course, especially just outside Roswell. And we even picked up over a quarter of an inch of rain here in Albuquerque, making it our rainiest day since January, and puts us well above normal for the month of May. So some really good news there as well. Most of us have cooled down into the 50s thanks to all that cloud cover and rain. There's still a few 70s out there in Carlsbad and Hobbs. The showers and thunderstorms are likely going to stick around tonight. Like I said, we do expect to see another round of rain here in Albuquerque, but most of that's going to stay on to eastern New Mexico tonight into Tuesday morning. We could pick up some heavy rainfall out of some of those showers. Thunderstorms will develop again tomorrow afternoon. They're going to stay a lot more isolated than the widespread showers we've seen today. They'll bring many of us another chance for rain. It'll just be a little bit more hit or miss. That will continue into Tuesday evening before moving out Tuesday night, and then we're drier for many of us into the end of this week. But for eastern New Mexico, there's pretty good confidence of above average rainfall in the end of this month and into early June, and that expands to more of New Mexico in that first week of June. So this is a really good sign, especially this time of year. It's not quite the monsoon setting up, but it does tell me, especially that higher confidence in eastern New Mexico, that we could be looking at more of our severe weather season in the eastern half of the state as we head into the end of this month and into early June. So while a little bit of rain, we'll have to keep an eye out for that severe weather threat. More rain and thunderstorms are likely tomorrow across southern Colorado and northwest New Mexico before warming up starting Wednesday and drying out heading into the end of this week as well. High pressure will move over the state this weekend, and that could bring in some drier weather and hotter temperatures for many of us. But there may be enough moisture underneath that high pressure system to keep some rain chances around. We'll watch more showers and storms overnight tonight and into tomorrow across the eastern half of the state. We can still pick up some locally heavy rainfall out of some of those storms. We'll also be looking at more rain and thunderstorms developing tomorrow afternoon over the northern mountains and into the east mountains and here in Albuquerque. So with that, our best chance for rain tomorrow is likely going to be afternoon. And then after that, we're looking at some warmer and drier weather heading into the weekend with another chance for rain returning a week from today.
Brad, that photo of the haboob?
Yes.
Haboob?
Isn't it cool? Like I said, it looks like something you'd see in Arizona.
It's pretty intimidating though. Like I can imagine walking out with my dog or something and you see that coming towards
You
you.
don't want to be caught in that all day.
Definitely things that are complicated. Investigators say they are still looking into the cause of a massive fire that burned through an Albuquerque recycling plant over the weekend.
What?
Fire crews from the city and Bernalillo County were dispatched to town recycling on the south side Saturday evening. Owners of the business told firefighters the blaze appears to have started with burning paper before spreading to aluminum and other metals. The flames weren't extinguished until the next day. No injuries were reported. Big news for New Mexicans insured with Blue Cross Blue Shield. The insurance giant announced that they have reached an agreement with Loveless Hospital. Letters were recently sent out to patients that the two companies were struggling to reach a deal. The agreement was at risk of expiring this summer, meaning Loveless facilities and staff would be taken out of Blue Cross's network. According to Loveless, the issue stems from the rising costs for staffing, supplies, and technology. They claim Blue Cross Blue Shield reimburses them significantly below what it pays other health systems. But the announcement came this morning that a deal has been signed and the two companies will continue to work together. There are growing concerns about the global humanitarian aid system. A new report says it is failing the people it is meant to help with billions of dollars at waste and overshadowing political agendas. Fox's Alexis McAdams reports.
From Gaza to Ukraine, civilians are growing desperate, hospitals are under attack, and the humanitarian aid system just can't keep up. That's according to a new report in the Lancet Medical Journal.
The humanitarian system is no longer fit for purpose, given the types of emergencies that we have and their magnitude.
Dr. Paul Spiegel is a Johns Hopkins professor who helped lead this study after spending decades working in refugee camps and war zones around the world.
Yeah, I've been doing this for well over 30 years. We're in a very dark time.
Shining a light on one of the world's largest disasters, Sudan's brutal civil war with tens of millions in need as hospitals close and famine spreads. The report shows the world knows how to save lives, but the system is failing to deliver. Some agencies too bureaucratic and others too slow. The study says the United Nations is in need of reform. And in the United States, the Trump administration shuttered USAID over suspected fraud and abuse. During that restructuring, many of its most vital programs were folded into the State Department.
USAID needed to be restructured. The humanitarian, the UN needs to be restructured in a very significant way. But it's how you do that. Make sure that you do it in such a way that vulnerable populations across the globe are not going to be hurt.
The authors are pushing for major global reforms, including overhauling funding, sending aid directly to local communities, accountability of governments and armed groups block aid, and healthcare as a basic human right.
It's really a complete rebalancing to make sure that the system actually works for the people it's intended to help.
And it's not just the United States that's cutting foreign aid. The UK, Germany, and France are too. And listen to this. According to this report, less than half of people around the world in need may actually receive aid this year. In London, I'm Alexis McAdams, Fox News.
Former Lowell Donovan Dent hosted a youth camp today. Jared Chester has a look at that, plus an update on Dent and the reports of his retirement from basketball. Next in sports. Plus, police are using AI to catch criminals more than ever before, but some are questioning the ethics. Details after the break.
News tip reported on KRQE.com or on the KRQE News app.
What could possibly go wrong?
We got it all right here.
Most Americans aren't yelling like you. They're hard at work, raising families, respecting their neighbors, asking honest questions. This is your prime time. News Nation, the fastest growing network in all of television. Left and right, standing next to each other to be reasonable, humanity. This is America's new prime time. Only on
Just kidding.
We're here for those who build America. Those who believe that giving everything we've got today could pay off tomorrow. Who will drive America forward for 250 years to come. If that's who you are, you should pay what we pay. Employee pricing plus up to $2,500 bonus cash on the 2025 Broncos Sport only at your New Mexico Ford dealer.
Look, I'm Elias of Elias Law. And after a crash, when you're sitting at home wondering who's going to pay for your car and your injuries, you know what the insurance company wants you to do? Wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Because every day you wait, evidence gets lost, you don't get the treatment you need, and the value of your case gets smaller and smaller.
Does that mean bedtime?
We want to level the playing field.
Does that mean bedtime? Okay.
Hey, it's Stu Rodriguez again. Remember when parents felt comfortable letting kids play alone in the front yard? Or when you didn't have to wonder if your car was taking you out their trip to the store? We can fix New Mexico's crime problem. I'm running for governor because of issues like crime. With your vote, I'll get to work fixing the problems that got us here in the first place. Let's make it safer. I'm Duke Rodriguez. I'm running for governor, and I approve this message.
Your back and listen to the room is where every day begins and ends. At Next Level Restoration and Remodel, we turn outdated, cramped spaces into beautiful and functional retreats with complete walk-in shower
Still scrolling for something to watch? Stop right there. Download Kirky now. Original shows, Mon F, zero excuses. Watch what you want, when you want. England, Russia, New Mexico, former community loved. Welcome to sports. After rumors and reports started circulating last night, today former local Dominic Dent confirmed that his retirement from basketball is in fact real.
The Fruit Loops are good, huh?
I asked Dent about the decision
The Fruit Loops are good.
and why now felt like the right
Fruit
time
Loops
to
are good.
in the game.
Yeah, no, it's true. I know that. I just didn't know everyone knew about it, so I didn't either be posts going all over social media about it. So that kind of shocked me, but yeah, I am done with basketball right now. I'm gonna start training back up now with everything, doing more of these as many as I can just for the kids. But I am retired right now. Nothing go overseas, nothing like that. I just didn't really have the drive to really do it no more. Really, and I talked to my family about it, and once they were on board and accepted it, they felt that
The dogs still need to be put out. The doggies. Thank you.
An impressive college career finishing at UCLA and 3 stellar seasons for the Lobos, where he's one of the most prolific guards in the Mountain West. Now, Ted still will play for the enchantment in this year's TBT, and he does still have